Aloha, Ukers and Ukettes. Thanks so much for listening to another Up-Strum podcast. This one is to really answer a question for those of you out in the ukulele community. To you, why or does it matter? Or how do you feel of the pronunciation of the word ukulele? Now, me growing up in Hawaii, learning Hawaiian and Olelo or Hawaiiana, or anytime you speak Hawaiian, there's a different way of pronouncing your letters, your vowels, and just overall in general Hawaiian words. Say an island. We have an island called Kauai, or people pronounce it Kauai. Like where the okina happens. Okina is an apostrophe that splits up two different vowels, or it splits up two of the same vowels, consecutive vowels, and they just change meanings. They do change the meaning of the word because the okina, or the apostrophe, in the Hawaiian language is technically a letter, so to speak. They say we have 13 letters, including the okina, which makes or breaks a word. Correct me if I'm wrong, any of you little Hawaii people out there, but the word like kauila and ka'uila, I believe ka'uila is lightning, but it's definitely a different meaning than kauila. Kauila is car, without the apostrophe between the A and the U, to make it ka'uila or kauila. So the word ukulele, by saying ukulele or ukulele or ukulele or however you've learned how to say it and adapted to that way of saying it, does not change the meaning of the instrument itself. We can watch movies of Hawaii on Hawaii Five-0 or Duki Kame Aloha or NCSI or NCIS Hawaii or whatever have you, when it comes to, seeing the culture of Hawaii. And if I say Hawaii to actually call it a place, location, or state, or where I am located, my place of birth and living, I will say Hawaii, and I'll say Ukulele Project Hawaii. If I say Hawaii Five-0, I think it's weird because the show is called Hawaii Five-0. It's the way the producers has said it, the way it's been promoted, and if you learn Hawaii Five-0, then that is what you've learned. To correct that and say you're wrong, to me, never. No such thing. To show you that there is a proper way of saying ukulele and an improper way, then yeah, that's fine. But if you said it improperly, why is that wrong? It may be improper, but it's not wrong. Like, proper manners, improper manners. Like, saying thank you is proper, but saying thanks is improper. And like, who knows? Who is it to decipher really what's proper, improper, wrong, or not wrong? I think they're two different things. So, at first, a few years ago, when I was getting involved with the ukulele community on social media, I heard ukulele a lot, and I was okay with it. I thought it was funny to maybe tease people who said it just because it's funny, because that's how you say it. But who am I? I took 2 years of Spanish, or Espanol, it's the correct way to say it. Or if I said gracias to someone, will they get offended for me not saying gracias? Or if someone told me mahalo or mahalo and not mahalo, would I be offended? No, because why? They still meant thank you. Mahalo, mahalo, gracias, gracias, it still means thank you. Thank you, thanks. What's proper, what's improper, it's not wrong. You were still gracious enough to give me that thank you and sincerity. I'm totally okay with it. So when, people correct others on the pronunciation of ukulele and ukulele, I don't think there's correction to be made. Could there be awareness of proper pronunciation? Absolutely. But then just say it. Colin Kaepernick took a knee to protest what he believed. And that was it. It was a knee. It was a symbol. And people were going to follow it, then follow it. If you want to say ukulele, then say ukulele. We don't need to go around correcting people ukulele. We don't need to say it's wrong or it's right. Yeah, I could say uke, and it's short for ukulele. But I think to say ook is kind of weird. Because when you say ook, you're not going to put an E at the end. You're going to say ook, as in ukulele. So UK, because it's ook, lele, right? So there's 4 syllables, ukulele. Uke would be as it's spelled, UKE, short for Luke, right? If you took away the L, puke, or whatever. UKE is short for uke. If I was to put something like a hashtag uke it up, but said ook it up and put UK it up, I think it looks like United Kingdom. I think it could look very misconception and nobody would catch the point. So developing uke as a term for majority to understand, I believe, as a native Hawaiian and someone who says ukulele, I feel properly, uke, UKE, is okay for the word to get across. If you were a preacher and you wanted to preach the word of God, and the listeners out there, one listener said, well, you shouldn't crack jokes, you shouldn't make it funny, you should preach and push it and be serious at all times. Yeah, it could get across to most. But if you crack the joke here and there, you're still sharing the gospel. You're still sharing the good news of God. And what is wrong with the way you're sharing it? The word is getting shared. And it's not hurting anyone. Now, if you said, you're a loser if you don't follow the word of God, or you're wrong, you're a terrible person if you don't say ukulele, I feel that on that person shouldn't do that. I feel that's improper. That's improper in humanity, the way you should treat people. And this is a ukulele community. Like, we're the strongest bond community out there in social media, in the world. There's no other community like it. There's no guitar community. There's no saxophone community, right? There's an ukulele community, and the community is one. And if you want to say ukulele, that's fine. If you teach people ukulele, maybe not. Maybe not. If you think that ukulele is accepted, that's you. I agree, ukulele is accepted by most. I'm not saying I don't accept it. But that is the way it's been gone. Let's take the word like cilantro. Now, we say cilantro, we'll go to the store and ask for cilantro. The real correct Spanish pronunciation would be cilantro. And the English translation isn't cilantro. But if you ask somebody for cilantro, they'll give you cilantro. But the correct English translation is coriander. Like, if you ask somebody for coriander, they'll give you cilantro. And we're okay with saying cilantro. And I don't think there's anybody in the Spanish community correcting anybody who says cilantro. If you say, hey, if you're going to say cilantro, you should say coriander. No, I've never been corrected. I have been corrected once. It wasn't a correction. It was a misunderstanding, I should say. I went on a boat cruise. This is 14 years ago. And I asked a guy, hey, where are you from, man? And he said, Mexico. And I'm like, I didn't hear what he said. I'm like, where was that again? I'm sorry. He said, Mexico. And I was like, oh, sorry. He goes, Mexico? I was like, gotcha. My bad. And I felt bad. I felt bad that because it happened to me from that 14 years ago, about 5 years prior, that happened to me as well. And I'd say about 7 years prior, that happened to me as well. I was in basic training for the military, and I had a picture of my then girlfriend, high school girlfriend, who's now my wife, on my bed because it was like a shakedown. Everybody wanted to see, what kind of pictures we got and all that kind of stuff. So it was for senior pictures, and in Hawaii, you take Hawaiian pictures. And my TI asked me, he's like, "Who's this?" I'm like, "Mine, sir." I think I said the wrong reporting statement or whatever. But he's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Hawaii." Or I said, "Hawaii." I think I said Hawaii. I didn't say Hawaii because I know he would have known. But I said Hawaii. And he's like, "Where?" I'm like, "Hawaii." He's like, "Where are you from?" I said, "Hawaii." He goes, "Oh, Hawaii." You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Like, I find it comical. Like, it's funny. That's funny. The new Doogie Howser deal on Kamealoha, Doogie Kamealoha on Disney Plus, and one guy would say mahalo, and it's like, no, it's mahalo, and he goes, "Oh, my bad." You know what I mean? Like, there's correction that's going on in there, which is kind of good. There is correction. I will never correct you for saying ukulele. I won't say it's wrong, because to have correction would be that there is wrong taking place. No. Do I feel? The question is, do I feel that I have a platform to make sure people use the term properly or say properly? No. I I don't think I ever have a platform, nor will ever have a platform. I'm just gonna say how I feel inside. That's how I say it. It's the way it's heard and interpreted. And if I said ukulele or ukulele, but I said I love you or I love you, it's still going to mean the same thing. It still has meaning. The ukulele still has 4 strings, and or 6 or 8 or 10. But you'll get the message. You'll still hear the sound. You still feel the same way as if you were to play it, to say it, or to hear it. So I leave you with that. Please let me know in the comments below on how you feel of ukulele or ukulele or uke or ook. But I feel if you're going to spell it UKE, it should be pronounced uke. All right? Well, aloha and have a great day.